Divine Love, we are back for 100 days and 100 nights of our prayer to cover the youth and cover ourselves with our mantras and our daily prayers. We're going to start the prayer off with the noble Bernice Earl McGill. I yield.
This is Noble Bernster Miguel L. Bay, and I'll be coming to you live this time with a tribal verbiage prayer, and I will start. You can follow along. I think it's posted on one of the sites Empress had posted before, so you can follow me. I, Noble Bernard Miguel L. Bay, and we, with the powers invested in me, my masculine and my feminine, Shekinah powers within, invoke the Holy Spirit of truth to break, dissolve, and cut all soul ties in the spirit realm and astral plane that have attached itself to me and my family, the Moors, that are ungodly and do not serve our highest and best good. I, we, cancel, remove, and destroy all altars made in my image and likeness, our image and likeness. I, Noble Bernard Miguel L. Bay, and we break, remove, and destroy all rituals that have been brought against us in the astral plane and spirit realm, and all spells, curses, hexes, and rituals are now bound up and destroyed and sent back to the senders forever. I, Noble Bernard Miguel L. Bay, and we cut, sever, and destroy all spiritual agreements and contracts that we have entered into knowingly and unknowingly, that he hindered that we hindered the Moors, knowingly and unknowingly, that has hindered the Moors, excuse me, that has hindered the Moors. In my life, my family's life, my past, present, and future, I cancel, remove, and destroy all, and dissolve and destroy all and any and all attacks brought against me in the dream state that has attached itself to me and my family. I break, remove, and destroy all generational curses. I break and remove and destroy all generational curses. I break and remove and destroy all generational curses brought against me and my family. And I cut and sever and cancel all soul ties and agreements and contracts made against me and my family. In the line that
And
are ungodly, do not serve our highest and best good and best good. I'm trying to read this. It's getting smaller and smaller. I don't know why this is automatically adjusting, but we'll get through it. We release the wealth, riches, and gold held for us in the astral plane and spirit realm. In the astral plane and spirit realm, brought down for the palm with our palms in the physical manifestation. We the Moors, declare that all beings sitting in our seats of power shall resign and be removed and repent of their sins against the Most High Elohim and the words of the Aboriginal Moors. And the Aboriginal Moors, landlords of the land of Mu. We declare that all impostor fiduciaries, trustees, and beneficiaries of the U.S. corporation and all political bodies within that have been brought against us in our vast estate in the Americas shall be removed and turned over the keys to the White House, to Buckingham Palace, and released to the Moors. All those secret societies holding on to our words left by our ancestors, our lost books, hidden culture, and knowledge of our connection of our cosmic earthly creators, our ancestors, who left us an inheritance of teachings and instructions. These violating impostors must correct their wrongs, or else all violators shall be punished pursuant to the Aboriginal Moors Charter and fee schedule. And their heirs and their children's children shall be cursed and be made to pay back their forefathers' debt to we the Aboriginal Moors and our heirs only in perpetuity, and so on to infinity. So it is. Ashe, so it is. Ashe, so it
so it
is.
is.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe Wa. So these are some of the prayers that have saved our lives. Actually, I'm going to speak for myself. Saved my life literally. Having the knowledge and knowing how to invoke the powers of the ancestors and layman's terms, ancestral magic. It is as you elevate, I would say it's imperative that you learn these certain powers and develop the connections and the relationships spiritually with your ancestors, most high creators, the almighty forces that be. Again, Elohim is plural. We were made, or we made them in our own image and likeness, so it's plural. So don't be surprised if you hear me say Mother God and Father God. We have to see things as they are and not what the Inquisition and those who took over religion want us to think that it is. So it's some of us that can see and discern what things are supposed to be, and that's where the knowledge comes from anyway, from the divine source. It's coming down from the heavens. The people that stole our books, our teachings and instructions, and turned it into the Bible, which is really the bib of El. Of course, they injected what they wanted, omitted and added and subtracted what they wanted. If you don't think so, then you are naive to think that a conqueror, someone who conquered you, would not change anything, would not change your ancestors' words. This is why they fight me so hard. The Masons, they got the books. They know who we are already before we even know ourselves. Even though they know that they're not going to win this battle, they still fighting. They know who the lady in the South is. They know who is coming back in the full manifestation as the Christ return. They know who we are. They have the lost books. They have the hidden books. They've been hiding them. So they know the prophecy. So don't make no mistakes about what's really happening right now, and that we have been hoodwinked and and deceived by those in power. And those in power have been primarily through the religious sector, through the Vatican, the Archdiocese, the Chaplain of Spain. These are the entities that run all these other secret society groups. And on top of them are the false royals, false rulers, false imperials. Some real, most are not. Some are having some of the royal blood through their veins, some not. Most of them are not. So that's been the cleansing process in my story, cleansing out the old cycle and bringing back my ancestors' legacy. So, people have to understand that it's a whole cycle that has to be played out. Even though, it's very difficult for me, it had to be played out in the manner in which it was played out. And all of this is prophecy and prophetic and it's biblical. Even though I'm not a big Bible toter, never have been, but I've always been spiritual, spiritually connected. I've always felt that spiritual connection and heard that divine voice speaking to me and through me. And I never ignored it. And so I encourage everyone to tap in, because we are in a time where we're going to have to learn how to rule again. We're going to have to really get on our P's and Q's and take back the land. Shout out to South Africa. I mean, It is what it is. I don't condone killing. At the same time, the bow has to break. If you've been told for 65 years that you got to go and you don't want to leave, and you still violating the law, and you still encroaching upon the lands of another man, what do you expect to happen? Okay, so they've killed over 1,000 so-called Afrikaners, these white farmers in South Africa. So this battle is going on worldwide, and every place is happening at a different level. Here in America, it's happening spiritually. It's a silent warfare that's been going on for the last 7 years solid straight. What's this year? 2025? About 9 years for me that I physically noticed it. And I've written books, published books talking about how I noticed the following these corrupt officials and things like that. That was in 2010. Well, 2009 is actually when I wrote Myth Behind Foreclosure, Wall Street, Big Banks, and You. I talked about it in that book, how I just noticed them following me. So it's just time for it to all play out, and I'll be glad when it does, because it's so many that are within our families and our close knit, family and friends that just don't understand us. Those of us who can see, those of us who are experiencing some things and have experienced things over the years with just being secretly targeted. And at first, I thought it was just our tribe, but it is the collective body of star seeds, really the 144,000 that are in America who have who were born rich. Okay, the Aborigine, we are from here, and they've been living off our birth certificates and our trusts. We have royalties and loyalty accounts that we're supposed to be getting. We were born with, but instead of us having what belongs to us, our inheritance by birthright, it's been systematically stolen from us. Those with blood type A, this birth certificate trust and everybody's is talking about and things like that. You were born a trust fund baby. So we have been not only disenfranchised, but we have been systematically extorted, falsely um, robbed of our inheritance. And the way they just did me in jail, locking me up in the hole for over a year, I saw the moves they made, how they've been able to do it, how they've been doing it. You know, if they can't take you out, they're gonna try to do all of their other tactics to get you off the streets, do whatever they can. Meanwhile, they snatch me up talking about a house that I'm squatting in. When I pay cash for the house, it's like they just don't even care no more. They just do whatever they want to do and see if they can get away with it. And they really didn't care how they did me, because they didn't expect for me to still be alive today talking about it. That's how serious it got for me, you know. And when they had me in there, I was supposed to be released right away. They denied me my due process, an arraignment. You're supposed to go to an arraignment immediately. They denied it. They didn't want me to see the judge. They knew I was going to be released because it was nothing. Well, they didn't have me on nothing. It was a false arrest. So then, when I finally, a week later or two, I finally get to see a lawful judge. The judge dismissed everything, and they still didn't release me. So That's when I knew. But see, they had been trying this for years and had never been able to do this to me. But these are the things that they've been systematically doing to our people. So tell me why I'm allegedly locked up for squatting in the house, but they tried to take me to court another after I already seen the judge. The judge released me. They tried to haul me off, pull me into a false court session and try to determine my mental capacity. Now, if I wasn't who I was, boy, they probably would have got over on somebody. And ain't no telling how many times they did these things. I'm telling y'all these things because I want y'all to know. I want everybody to know when you being violated. You have a right to due process of the law. Nobody can encroach upon your liberties. Nobody has the right to encroach upon your liberties. You are due you are afforded due process of the law at all times. Okay? And it's just, it's beyond me why they choose me, but really it was all a part of the plan because when they came for me, they got their karma. I was ready. I'm always ready for them, and I didn't beat them so many times in court to the point where they just start doing straight up witchcraft against me, following me, gang stalking me, sneaking in and out the house, doing all type of stuff because they can't lawfully beat me. They can say what they want to say, put whatever they want to print in the news on social media and on their false websites and news reports. It's all a big lie. They did the same thing they just did to me in 2015 and lied and said I got 20 years for being in a mansion. And when I got all of the paperwork on that, I got all the paperwork on that. The president knew I was in that house. I put out the court videos about it. But see, unbeknownst to me, is so many different levels to this. So because we're dealing with sorcerers, they think they can get away with whatever and they can just glamour everybody into believing whatever they say in the news. This is how they've been getting over though. This is how they've been conquering us. Gang stalking with the sorcery and using the Catholic Church and all the religious groups to help them. That's who they brought into America, flooding the gates of America every day by the millions. That's who they've been bringing in here. All of they minions to try to help them take over America because we claimed it back and we making moves. And I'm not backing down. I know my powers. I know who I am. And for me, the last 4 years has been just a whirlwind. It's been like Alice in Wonderland. It's been crazy because I was already doing these things. I already started a tribe. I already filed the Library of Congress documents out of interregnum, ancient imperial wars. We're out of interregnum. Not knowing to the magnitude and the severity the things that I was doing would lead to. So it brought out a lot of big dogs who I didn't even know existed. And I found out a bloodline that two bloodlines that I'm from that I didn't even know existed. My family knew nothing of it. So little do I know it's been ruling families, black nobility families running things from the background, targeting me from the background, sending their agents, FBI agents, putting me on the FBI watch list. They've been watching me and targeting me and following me my whole life. Come to find out, they've been committing identity theft, doing things in my name because I'm the beneficiary of this land. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It is what it is. They can't hurt me. They done tried everything. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna live a long life and I'm going to fulfill the prophecy. So it's just gotta be documented. It's gotta be known what's really going on. I'm tired of people actually believing that I'm crazy because somebody put that in the news. Shame on you if you still believe in the false news. If you still believe whatever they're saying, however they say it, then, have fun at that. Have fun at that. But I just want y'all to know that it's a bigger play always. And it's those of us who can see things that maybe you can't. Maybe you can't see it yet. And I'm one of those people. Always have been all of my life. You will find out about it later, maybe years later. But I already saw that. I already said that. I already came to that conclusion. So, I'm not bragging about it, but it is what it is. So it's a lot of us star seeds that are seeing these things and having these experiences, and people don't want to believe us. People want to call us crazy. People, because you don't see it and you can't fathom that these things could be happening, or you haven't experienced it in your life, you should really just sit back and take it all in, because everybody's not lying. And there has been groups following people wearing all black, driving black trucks. Helicopters used to follow me all the time for years. I never really knew why. I put two and two together in my own mind, but who knows why these creeps do what they do. They've been using spiritual means to do things, pulling our energy, harvesting our energy, using spirits and spiritual means to uh, harvest our energy, source our energy, sorcery through sorcery. All of these things these things are actually a thing. This is a spirit world that most people too busy working every day to understand that these things are going on. But me moving up in the ranks, so to speak, and taking back the land and doing things as a tribal leader and moving in that direction towards a high seat upon the land, I'm running into these type of individuals and I'm coming for the top spot. That's what it's all about. I'm playing a real life Game of Thrones, and it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy because these people sitting in my lawful seat of power, but they want to make it because they have the power of the media and the strong arm, they can make it look like and spin the narrative how they want to. But I'm standing as a lone star, still moving forward. They ain't take me out. They tried. I'm still coming for my spot. I'm coming for the top spot and can't be stopped because that's my spot. And I know it. I know who the proper authority is and supposed to be. I've been knowing it for the last 4 years. All this time. All this time. And the crazy, y'all want to hear something crazy? Members of my own bloodline, my own family, have been trying to take me out because of this. I never knew them, I never met them, but they somewhere along my family line knowing who I was my whole life, following me, stalking me, doing shit because they able to do it. They have power over federal agencies and governments and things like that. Falsely putting my name on the FBI watch list, falsely following me around, getting me ejected from houses, never having a due process of the law. All they got to do is make a phone call and tell one of their minions to go over there and do this, go over there and do that. So that's what's been going on with me. For all those inquiring minds that want to know, it's some next level shit out here that's going on that y'all just don't have no clue about. But before you judge people, you should just sit back and pay attention and stay tuned. It ain't over. Thank God that I had a lot of accolades under my belt before they started challenging me and going in a courtroom trying to say I'm incompetent and putting themselves over me like I'm a ward of the state. I mean, the shit was so crazy because everybody in North Carolina, everybody in America who is an authority or an official got some documents on Empress Niti L. Bay. Got a whole court case, 101,000, 101,006,000 to my credit against the state of North Carolina, and you telling me I'm incompetent, and who called you in the first place to represent me? Everybody in this state, in this county, know I represent myself. My affidavit is on the record. And as of 2017, I'm a tribal leader with my own court, giving orders from my own court under seal, under tribal seal. So what makes y'all think y'all can come in here, the three of y'all in this fake courtroom, and tell me that you gonna determine my capacity? Oh, but I thought I was here for a housing issue. How did we get to this point? See what I'm saying? This the kind of stuff they do. These the moves they was trying to make on me. So I want y'all to know that this stuff really is going on, has happened, and this has happened to plenty others. What they just tried to do to me. So what is so important about me that they want to try to say that I'm crazy or determine my capacity? What could be the reason for that? Noble, you got anything in mind? Why they would want to do that? Where you at?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Say it one more time.
I was saying,
I heard can you
okay,
hear me? That's it.
yeah, I can hear you. I was asking a question.
No, I heard you say I heard you say can you hear me?
No, I had asked you a question. I said, Noble, is there anything you can come up with why they would do something like that? Did you hear me?
Because they're afraid of I hear what you just said just now. I think because they're afraid of losing what they have. You know, people don't like losing power, and they're not just going to give it up. So they fear the unknown. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that could be a reason. That could be a reason. But
That's the only reason.
but my thing is this: let them tell it. They snatched me out of a home because I was squatting. But when I get in there, they don't want to release me after the judge released me on the false arrest and dismissed everything. Instead, they kept me in there for over a whole year trying to get me caught up in something else that had to do with mental capacity. You see how they flip the script? They
That's crazy.
This is the kind of shit they do. try to railroad you however they can, get you in there. Want to get me locked up in a psych ward. Want to get me locked up. They want to just try to get rid of me in any way, shape, or form they can and try to take over my estate. That's what it was all about. Okay. And then this false judge gonna sit up there and say, well, is is it anybody that you can give authority to, or um give either of the attorneys your permission to? I said, I was, listen, I was tied down and chained to a chair going off on them. If looks could kill,
Wow.
if my words could kill, they would have been dead. I'm telling you. I looked at her, I said, first of all, I didn't hire, I fired all of them that came and tried to talk to me, and I said, this attorney said it best. This ain't my first rodeo. And everybody in this county, everybody who's a lawful lawyer or judge or researcher knows who Nintiel Bay is. I said, my record speaks for itself. I have affidavits. I have court duly filed court cases and notices and affidavits on the record stating my status. Nobody can speak for me. I told her, no, I will not be involved with any of this conjecture in here. It was a false courtroom. This is a courtroom that I had already reported on and sent in complaints and notices to Department of Justice about years ago. 1150B Mecklenburg County Courthouse is a false courtroom, and they give false court sessions. They run false court in there. Okay. The judge, whoever that was sitting there, I said, ma'am, everything y'all doing right now, they already tried. In 2010, the Department of Justice sued the state of North Carolina for violations of the rights of indigenous people, constitutional claim, $101,006,000. They got me out of there so fast. It can make your head spin. Okay, well that'll be all. Her little clerk, as I'm
They didn't
saying
want no
this,
parts.
as I'm saying it out of my mouth, the clerk next to her typing. She typing everything I'm saying. So the shit popped up. She said, "Oh, okay, we're done." I said, "Yeah, I know you are. You fake judge, whoever you are." They rolling me out of there so fast. I'm yelling. I'm yelling to the top of my lungs. Oh, I'm so upset. I'm heated. I said, y'all idiots, this is for y'all. This is for y'all to learn a lesson. This is not for me. I'm not here for me. Y'all a waste of fresh air. Y'all a waste of good energy. Y'all don't even know who y'all dealing with. I'm saying to myself, I can't believe this. These idiots trying this again. What is wrong? What is wrong with them? It's like, this is like something I'm missing. Ancestor, I'm just praying
We
the
call
whole
that stuck
time.
on.
Huh?
We call that stuck on stupid. We call that stuck on stupid.
Yeah, for sure. So they hurried up and got me out of there. And I said, yeah, you nameless judge, whoever you are, no name tag on the bench, nothing. She trying to get me to acquiesce to giving them um authority to do something over me. I'm looking at them like I wish I would. I said, no, I will not. And you should have saw how thin and how frail I was, Noble. I I I I'm telling you, with all of the energy and of my being, I was so heated. I shook that whole room as little as I was tied to that chair. I said, if y'all don't hurry up and get me out of here and stop playing your games with me, no, I will not be a part of your conjecture. You don't have no say so over what I do. You don't have no. I didn't hire none of y'all. All of y'all are fired. This is old news. You already tried this. You already been sued. The state of North Carolina, the city of Charlotte, the Mecklenburg County. You already owe me $101,006,000. They rolled me out of there so fast, though, but it wasn't funny. This shit is like something out of a movie. If I wasn't so mad, I would have been laughing. I was like, this shit don't make no sense. Stop playing with me. So that's what the whole move
They
was
still
about.
ain't figured out a way. They
Huh?
still haven't figured out a way how to pay you. I said they still haven't figured out a way how to pay you.
I don't know. They don't want to pay me. They rather try to take me out than pay me something they owe me. And even further, it's more to it than even just that. That I found out. It's like, why do you want to silence me so bad? I know why, because if y'all only knew the paper the paper trail that I be leaving, you would know why. Yeah, when I put papers on them, they done. They over. It's done. Yeah, I got all the aces. I got too many ways to put them out of business. Get up out of here. Get off this land. And you gonna pay me. If you don't pay me, you you got a debt that you got to pay before you can go back to work. Okay. Yeah, they call me the lean queen. Don't get it twisted. They get it. I put them papers on them every time. So it was definitely an experience. I have to rely on the spiritual aspect of it to learn my lessons because it's never a loss, it's always a lesson. So I had to find the lesson in this. What is going on that I'm missing? Because this just don't make no sense. They made up all this stuff to try to snatch me up and then get me in there only to start trying to say that I'm crazy, that I'm mentally my mental capacity is not there. Really? Oh, okay. Well, you look this case up that I wrote and you tell me if my mental capacity is not on point. And you still owe me 101,006,000 on the record in the legislature of North Carolina books. Come on, get out of here. Get out of
How long you gonna give them to pay it?
here. Shit, it's been due. I've been called that due. And I leaned them for it. They got a lot
Call
I got a lot of
in that
papers.
tab.
Yeah. That's what I've
Call
been
that
doing.
tab in.
They can't get out of it. So they are encumbered. They're encumbered. So they can't do business. So now get off my land. Give me my money and get off my land. And it's my birthright to run the court. I got all
Hmm.
the aces. They can't do nothing with me. The only aspect that I was lacking in is my spiritual gangster. Now that I got that up with their help, the 13 months I'm in the hole, I had to become a magi to save my own life, to keep myself alive after all the poison and all the plots and everything they was doing every day.
That's pretty deep.
Say it again.
I said that's pretty deep. That's deep.
No, but I'm trying to tell
That's
you.
deep.
I'm trying to tell you, I had to learn how to move things with my mind. I didn't have no black pot. I didn't have no black witch's pot, no cauldron that they was talking about on the news. They mad because I figured out that they was using spiritual principles and I started getting up to speed with them. So they gonna try to shun me in the media and say I'm a witch, but they got their whole
Hmm.
Catholic churches following me. Got their kids coming to my house, putting shit all over
Yeah,
the house, the black stuff. Every day throwing black stuff all over my house.
yeah. They were trying to say on the news clip. They were trying to say that you was doing that, and I was like, she ain't doing that. It's they doing that to her house.
They the
They had
picture the
reversed it
picture is so
on the
dingy. They got
clip.
I was cleaning my house every day, every other day, because they come and throwing black magic at the house. You can see it in the picture. The shit is black.
Hmm.
So they tried to put, yeah, they tried to
Make it
paint a
look like
picture.
mold or something.
They moved all these people into the neighborhood. Remember, I kept telling y'all these people keep moving these ops over here. They kept moving these Santerias, these
Hmm.
Spanish people, bringing them in. This is the reason they flooded America, because of our movement. They want to try to stop the people of the land from coming back into power. This shit is happening no matter what. Worldwide. It's over. It's a wrap. It's done. It's finished. Leave. Okay? So in my lesson that I had to learn is how to be a ruler, how to get back in my ancestors' top spot and get these evildoers out of here and stop them from doing spiritual crimes against us. Make them return back our spiritual inheritance, physical inheritance, financial inheritance, everything they stole from us. That's my job. And I'm the best at what I do. That's why they don't like me. They trying to suppress me. They trying to suppress the movement. They the whole world has been against me through these churches, through the Vatican and all of their churches and all their Catholic and religious groups, Islamic groups, Jewish rabbis and their synagogues, the whole shot. Because my ancestral state ranges from worldwide. Not only America, it's worldwide. That's what I found out in the last 4 years. That's why they want to take me out of here. And I'm holding my own. And I'm coming for my throne and my ancestors' legacy. Period. As long as I got breath in my body, it's getting restored. It's coming back into full fruition and full posterity. That's what I said. That's what I wrote. And that's the prophecy I was given. And that's that. Me, myself alone, doing all of this.
Hmm.
But see, my ancestors told me, I already know they with me. They with me. I got a whole legion of invisible warriors all around me. They told me I had to learn the spiritual powers. Because before you can have a physical army, you got to learn how to invoke that invisible army.
True,
That's
true
that's
that.
how they conquered us, and that's how we're going to get it back.
Just keep watching the weather. And ancestors ain't no joke.
Mhm. Yeah, they blowing them out of here. They blowing them out of here. We already been seeing the powers we have. We just got to learn how to use them to the fullest. We have the power. So I mean, it's a worldwide movement. All the lies have been dispelled. All of them have gone to jail and to hell, and they have been consumed with love without no bail. And did you see when I got out? Shortly after that, a warlock in the music industry went in. All of them was a part of that.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
of was a part of it. The shit was so crazy. I mean, it was just so crazy what I experienced. And I just saw it with my own eyes how they be um harvesting people's energy, committing identity theft spiritually and physically. First in the spiritual realm, they commit identity theft. They pulling they being imposters. They
Yep.
want to wear somebody else's energy and somebody else's destiny what they kept trying to do to me. They tried to literally suck the life out of me, Noble. They tried to deplete me, attack me, gang stalk me, and pull my energy from me and my destiny from me and walk in my powers and my shoes now that I know everything. Now that I know everything I'm supposed to
They
do.
tried to replace you.
Huh?
They tried to replace you. Did they try to replace you with Malachi Z. York's wife? Talking about she's the empress and she's the empress of the Selagi dynasty. I said, no, you're not.
Well, my ancestors.
She couldn't even read. She couldn't even read.
What?
Yeah, she tried to. She had a problem reading the script. They handed her a script, and she couldn't even read the script.
Oh my goodness.
They got them tapes out there. Go watch them tapes. She calls herself
This shit is
the empress of the. She don't even spell Selagi right.
this is comical, ain't it? Don't you think it's comical? I think it's comical. Ain't nobody worried about these frauds. They've been living and thriving off of being fraudulent imposters. I'm telling you. From the top down, you talking about false Windsors, these false royals and false rulers and imperials in Japan, they all false. They took over the royal blood, the real authentic bloodlines, killed them off, tried to kill them all off, walking their authority spiritually, stole their names and identities and their estates and their houses and castles and palaces and rulership powers and start governing everything like they was them. And then the few of them that was still in my bloodline that I know of in London, England, they was in the background ruling and giving orders. They call them black nobility. There was only a few of them left, but they tried to end the bloodline. This is how they used to do it back in the day when they came and conquered a place. They came and conquered the land. They taken out the rulers of the land, that whole bloodline, the babies and everything. They couldn't take us out. They couldn't. They took most of my family line out. That's why it has to be restored. But anyway, they couldn't take out the entire bloodline. The bloodline still lives. That's why they attack America so much, and they put all this poison in our water and give us this faulty healthcare system because the whole mission for these false royals, false rulers, false imperials who represent that ugly ass red, white, and blue star spangled banner with all them stars on it. Those stars represent bloodlines. These are the bloodlines that came and took over and conquered, okay, America. They are the ones who purposely try to take us out and end our lifespans through the food, through the um, healthcare system, even the educational system, trying to dumb our children down. In the last several years, they done took out all of these core phonics models and everything. Took out and cursive writing, just trying to dumb them down because the America is the honeypot. America has always been the honeypot
Yeah.
that everybody want to eat off of and feed off of. That's why I put in that order to stop all of the funding. They not taking all of that. All of that is coming from our royalties and our trust accounts they've been falsely using and stealing from us to run their governments and fund everything worldwide. All of their agenda off our backs that they stealing from us. No, y'all can't have nothing no more. Now that I know who I am for real, not only a tribal leader in North Carolina, I gotta say so in what goes on in America. And I'm walking in that power and they don't like it. Now I'm walking in my spiritual powers as well. So now we're gonna see what happens. It's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I just want the world to know. I want the youth to know that they have something to live for, especially in America. Don't fall for the okey doke. Don't take out your cousins and your fellow brothers and sisters for what? You wanna take out some anger and aggression. Take it out on the colonialists that's still sitting in your seats of power. They're supposed to have been gone 65 years ago. The world knows it. The international courts know it. International Courts of Justice, International Criminal Court, Interpol, United Nations. Everybody who has a lawful authority in the world knows this. That's why we don't have challenges at the top about our status. We only have had issues with rogues in
At the,
policy
mm-hmm.
uniforms, these policy enforcers for the occupation. They are on our land, occupying our land under corporations. It was no corporation. It
Yep.
was no corporation. They only have corporations because they need permission. They need a vehicle to give them permission to do something on the land. There was no corporations before 1950 because they have to come. They have
Mm-hmm.
to come through the lawful authority on the land. Okay, so we have to go back to all of that the way it was before the war. It's legal terms for all of these things that I'm saying. But to make it easier to put it in layman's terms, that's what it is. Things have to go back as though they were before the war. That means before the colonialists came here, before the colonial era, because the way they were able to do these things was by abandonment. The land is no longer abandoned. The land was deemed not abandoned and reclaimed, proclaimed in 2014. And then in 2016, by way of Congress, Library of Congress, the ancient imperial Moors came out of interregnum. So that put it on the world stage. And they've been on me every day ever since. Yeah, so that's what time it is. And I guess that's it for my session. Those are the chronicles of NTL Bay that I have to get out into the digital footprint so the world will know what's really going on. And bless y'all heart for anybody that's still believing anything in the news, in the media, especially if you already know me, especially if you know my background and what I stand for and who I am as a person. You know, shame on you if you want to believe that and perpetuate some nonsense. But whatever the case may be, we elevating, we rising, no matter what. Don't nothing stop us. We Cherokee Nation of Moors. That's why the state of North Carolina is still reservation territory because of the Cherokee bloodline, and I'm of that bloodline, and we ain't going nowhere. Ashe. Anything you want to say,
Shay.
Noble, before we leave?
Continue to fight. Don't stop. Won't stop. Ashe
Ain't
wa.
stop, won't stop, and we out.